Welcome to the Paint, Rest, Repeat podcast with Ros and
Laura Day, where we chat about our creative lives as artists while keeping it real and a little bit messy.
We're here to inspire creatives just like you to push past those boundaries and make art that you love. Let's dive in. Hello, everybody, and welcome to our episode this week on Paint, Rest, Repeat. We have the fabulous Vanessa Maver here. I had to check my notes. How embarrassing. I know you, Vanessa, and I'm like, what's Vanessa's name? It's like this creative, what is it called? It's not creative block. It's like a paranoid starting of podcast block. That's a thing, actually, isn't it, Laura?
Yeah, well, I hand over the intros to you, Ros. So I let you take on all the nervousness at the start of the podcast.
I feel like I should start that again. Or should we just be modeling imperfect action, Laura?
Yeah, I think that's what we do, don't
all
we?
Right. Yep. Yes. We're going to do that. Okay, fabulous.
Let's roll.
Let's keep going. All right, so we have Vanessa here today, and Vanessa's going to be chatting to us about a whole bunch of things. We've got a really good plan for our conversation today, but we are going to primarily be talking about how she has found her way in the art world as an introverted artist, because a whole lot of Vanessa's journey is all about that, and that we feel like that is quite relevant to you as our listeners here today. So welcome, Vanessa.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. It's so good to be here.
We're a bit excited. We're so excited that I forgot your name.
That's okay.
That's so bad. Anyway, tell us a little bit about you. Let's give everyone a bit of a foundation. Who are you? Where are you based? What sort of art do you make? And then we'll sort of dive into
some sure. So I'm Vanessa, and I'm based in Melbourne. I am also a designer and work in brand management. So also work corporate job, and I've been painting and working in the creative industry for years, so about 25 years in the industry, and just working in design agencies and advertising agencies all over the place, and painting something I've always done, and it probably started out at about 8. I started out as a illustrator and just thought that that's what I was going to become, and wanted to become a designer and an artist and all of the things. So I just progressed that, and obviously life and corporate gets in the way. So it's probably been in the last 5 years that I've really just started to look to my painting. And like I said, although I painted and did that in the background, so that was always something I was doing, as well as being in the creative industry. It was probably 5 or 6 years ago when I was home pregnant with my son, and I just started to delve a bit more into painting. And I was mentioning earlier that it sort of just started with me trying to make it more of a process and looking for a bit more mindfulness. So I'd do some little sketches in my sketchbook and paintings and things like that. So it's been a real journey and process to get to here.
And you're doing amazingly, though. The work behind you is just gorgeous. This is in a show that's coming up.
Yes, well, this one's sort of half done, but this is an abstract I'm working on. And one of the things with the show, so my art sort of is a lot about botanicals. So I really look to nature and my houseplants, and styling and interiors is a huge thing for me as well. So I sort of start there, and then it kind of takes on a life of its own. So I've done a lot of still life in the past, and that always sort of starts with my tablescapes. And I think I've kind of progressed on from there. Like, I don't know that I won't go back to that, but this, I've got this show coming up, and a lot of that is sort of evolving my style and exploring different things. And I've got this real push to move into more abstracts and botanical abstracts, but I definitely get dragged back into doing the more perfect pieces. So there's a bit of that in there too, because I think that's where the designer and illustrator comes back in and wants these sort of perfect little scenes. But there is really a drive to be a bit messier.
I think that's very relatable for our audience, because I don't know about you, Laura, but I've definitely noticed there is a whole portion of the art world that actually come from a design or a graphic design background. So I think that will be relatable for a lot of people.
I did. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I couldn't get a job as a graphic designer, so then I like veered into the art, but I did it like I studied both at the same time. Yeah. So, Vanessa, shall we like talk about the how this show like got started and what was the process? Because it is self-initiated. Like you decided that you really wanted to set a challenge for yourself, and yeah, maybe just explain how that all happened.
Yeah, sure. So I booked the show myself, mainly to give myself something to work towards this year. And I didn't expect this year to fly by quite as quickly as it has. So it was probably quite ambitious, considering I do work full time. I've got 2 kids, and all of other life's craziness over the top of it. But I had decided to sort of wind down entering competitions and prizes and group shows, because it is, it's very taxing on your time, and can be quite expensive. So I thought I'll just do one show. How it sort of came about with the location, so it's down in Mentone, which is nowhere near where I live, is that I used to have some work in a store called Zudis, and part of that store was In Bloom Horticulture. Zudis changed their business and moved on, but In Bloom Horticulture is still, it's nearby, so it's in a similar location. And Tamara, who runs it, I had met her when I had my pieces in Zudis, and there was just something about Tamara that I loved, and I think I loved her store, and I loved how she had moved down the road and she'd opened a gallery space at the back of her plant store. So In Bloom Horticulture is a plant store, and I think I loved everything about it. So, and Tamara's beautiful. So I, when she started to show that she was having some art shows in the space and she was renting it out for photography and things like that, I just approached her and said, I want to book it out. So went through all those motions, and then I just woke up one day and thought, I'm going to invite Amy Compton to join me. And Amy and I had met a couple of years earlier because we were both finalists in the Art to Art Unearthed Prize. And we developed a friendship over Instagram over that time. And we'd been chatting recently. So, yeah, I don't know why. I just thought, well, I love her work. I love her. She's in Tasmania. I thought maybe that would give her another opportunity to show in Melbourne. And, yeah, she jumped at the chance. So it just worked out really well. So I'm really lucky to have her as part of the show because, yeah, she's amazing. And just through a few conversations with Amy, she mentioned Bree Morrison, which I knew of Bree Morrison because Bree's obviously a lot further down in her journey. And she shows her work all over the place. And just by coincidence, I had been recently chatting with Bree online as well because she's based in Sunbury, which is where my family is. So I thought, well, the stars are aligning and there must be a reason why these lovely ladies have come into my life. So we asked Bree and she jumped at it as well. So that's sort of where it came together. And, yeah, the show just wouldn't be the same without them included. And they've just been, yeah, just a source of just information and therapy and friendship. So we've built a really nice relationship in the meantime. And I think what's been really great is we are all sort of, I'm going to say this, but I think we're in similar sort of age bracket. I think they both are younger than me. So I don't.
Are you saying that this was not part of your onboarding form when you interviewed them for this position as part of your group show? You didn't ask them their date of birth?
No. But we've both got young children, and I think we're very different people, but we all just clicked, and I think we were quite cognizant of each other's challenges in daily life and also things that we were all going through. And so it's just really come together. So it's been really, really good. And I'm looking down here because I'm actually looking at our little cards we had made up. So it's been really nice that way. And it means that we've been able to lean on each other a lot where we needed it. And can't wait, really. It's going to be amazing.
A little shout out here. I see, Laura, you want to say something as well, but just a little shout out, one-sided comment here about the benefits of visibility and also community, because I know Amy and Bree are both very active on socials, and so they would have been, front of mind for you, and then also the community and connections. And this is what happens in time. If you keep up some level of visibility, is opportunities like this in terms of Amy and Bree literally just landed in their lap, right? It doesn't come from nowhere. It's because they were actually visible and active and, putting themselves out there just a little bit.
Yeah, 100%. And I think, that's a good point around community, and being an introvert and a painter, I find it very easy to just disappear and do it. And I am also someone who I've motivated myself my whole life with my drive to do all the things I've done. And this was just another thing. And I think if you break it down, we all just want connection and community. And I think that's been a big realization for me, that actually out of all of this, it's community that I'm trying to build. And that's been a huge realization. So you can still go off and burrow down into your studio and paint, but drawing on those people and friendships and connections.
Yeah, that's the Julia Cameron's Believing Mirrors. So having people in your life that are going to reflect back to you your strengths, your gifts and everything. And, as artists, we are highly sensitive people, and, sometimes we can come up with certain barriers or things. So it's always good to have that community around you that can always support you and lift you up and help you to, believe in your dreams when sometimes you're wavering. What I was going to chime in before and say is that our listeners can head out to see your beautiful work on display. So if you're in and around Melbourne and would like to have a day trip out to Mentone, sounds like a gorgeous day out, a gorgeous space to go and have a look at some art, as well as being in a nature and looking at all the flowers and you might go home with a painting and a new pot plant, it seems. So it's at the Green Space in Mentone in Melbourne, and it's connected to Bloom Horticulture, and it's on till the 4th of December. We're coming out to you on the 20th of November, this episode. So your opening has already happened. So you're doing an official opening. What's that going to look like? Maybe we'll just talk about that too, because it's all connected.
Sure. So that's on the 16th of November. Obviously, it would have already been, but basically
completely sold out, Vanessa. It was jam-packed, everywhere.
There's nothing left. But In Bloom Horticulture is this beautiful little plant store. So you have to walk through this little jungle to get through to the space, which is just a beautiful white light space. So we're going to have plants everywhere, and there'll be obviously we'll have some nibbles and champagne on the night. So it's going to be lovely, and we're also going to have some homeware. So I'll have some tea towels with my art on it. And obviously Amy has an amazing product business. So she'll have some of her aprons, her tea towels, maybe some clutches and that sort of thing as well. So it's just going to be, we're going to be overrun by nature and plants. So it'd be beautiful.
That sounds like a good fit for Christmas gift giving as
well.
well.
It should be great. So there'll be lots of different price points as well. So, you know, you can go home with something. If nothing else, a gift card, because we'll have gift cards as well. And obviously Tamara also has some beautiful homewares and plants and things too. And Mentone's near the beach, so it's really close to the beach. It's sort of at the opening to Mornington Peninsula, so as you're heading down the coast. So it might even be a good way to, on your way down, to stop in and have a look.
I need a map. I'm geographically challenged, everybody.
Well, I'm actually pointing that way, but it's that way.
Okay. and also, in addition to that, you might be mirrored in this.
That's what I was thinking too.
I was doing this.
And also just saying as well, if you are listening in podcast land and you want to know what on earth we're talking about, make sure you hop over onto YouTube and watch what we're pointing to.
Yeah, exactly.
Very important inclusion. I had to throw that in. All right. So we've talked about your awesome group show, which I wish I could make it to. You might make it there, Laura, maybe.
Yeah, it's in my diary. Yes.
There you
yes.
go.
Awesome.
Okay, go and coordinate, everybody, listeners. Go and coordinate with Laura. Be there at the same time. Get her autograph. We should totally do that. I'll set that up for you, Laura. Sorry, you too, Vanessa. We need autographs. Okay, group shows. So we talked about your awesome show coming up. Also, like general benefits of group shows as well for our audience, if anyone's sort of
considering. So I think one of the things to be completely transparent is just the pure scale of having a show on your own and the amount of work that you would need to fill the space. I think, given some of the challenges that have popped up in life along the way, it's great to just have some people you're doing it with. You know, for instance, Bree's not going to have as many as she wanted because of things that come up in her life recently. Amy has to send all of her stuff from Tasmania, so she's coming up against some career issues and things like that. So just being able to go, okay, well, you know, we can lean on this person a little bit more, or, you know, I've probably got more smaller pieces when I thought I was going to have much larger pieces. But the way it's all going to come together, it's it's going to be great, and we're just able to lean on each other that way. So that's been really good.
Yeah, I love it. And also the other factor for me that sort of came up as you were talking was what motivates you as well to deliver on something. And for some people, it is having other people that, you know, in the mix. So, you know, Vanessa, you're not going to cancel this show because there's two other people definitely in the go. Whereas for some people, if they're doing it alone, last minute they can go, actually, this is too much work, I'm out, sort of thing. Yeah. So that's another little secret benefit for some people.
Yeah,
definitely. It probably wasn't an option. Once I sort of say I'm going to do something, I'll generally do it.
Yeah, so you have that like a strong internal drive.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's probably to my detriment, but it's definitely so. But if I didn't have that booked, I don't know where I'd be with my art, because I might be, I don't know, going off in one way that wasn't working, or I would put things to the side. And so this is, for me, the date has been the driving factor to just keep exploring with my art, keep going, keep developing, keep looking at new ways of doing things. And then, yes, having the added benefit of having Amy and Bree, I definitely can't cancel. It's definitely happening. And
it's already started.
Yeah, that's right. We're in Futureland.
We're in
It's
Switzerland.
happening.
Yeah, it's happening now.
Another thing, like a benefit of doing group shows would be like cross promoting through your audiences too. So you're like bringing awareness to your art through other channels as well.
Yeah, definitely. So that's been amazing. So we've sort of been roughly trying to post about the same time and connect on each other's posts and comment and do all those things. We've sent it out to our own friend groups and things like that. So, yeah, I think because this is the first show I've done that I'm have organised myself, and obviously not myself, but with it's self-initiated with Amy and Bree. It's really going to be a test to see what has worked and what can we do different and all of those sorts of things. So it's yeah. So as we go along and as we get to the end of it, we can see what we want to do differently. And we're already, I mean, we haven't even started the show. Obviously, well, this is when this goes on, we would have, but we're already talking about next year's show. So I think we've really enjoyed the process together. So, and then we'll be looking at where can we do it that's closer by, because obviously Bree's just down the road from me, 20 minutes, and the airport's so close, and Amy's going to fly in to the airport. So doing something a little bit closer to home is probably on the cards for next year. But yeah, I think we're just trying to keep it, keeping the flow, keep it exciting, yeah, and just keep planning for the next one.
Awesome.
Love it. So exciting. Now, this sounds like, an awesome outcome, right? You've got this fabulous show coming up, two amazing artists with you as well. But this hasn't just, happened. Like we were talking about the visibility piece and all of that. It's been a journey. And I sort of alluded to it earlier. You mentioned as well that you are an introvert by nature. How on earth has an introverted person got here? I know some of the answers, but would you like to share a little bit about your journey in that sense?
Yeah, sure. So I should say, like, I am definitely an introvert. I really do love my alone time and, painting. I could paint all day. But in my agency corporate world, as an account director, so I'm meeting with clients all day, I'm presenting, I'm doing all those things, but I do find it really, it zaps all my energy. So I guess I've had a lot of training in that space over the years of, even though you don't like doing it, just get out and do it. But when it came to my art, I literally wouldn't show anyone anything ever. And I don't like cameras. I don't like being on video. There was lots of things I had to work through. So as I mentioned, about 5 years ago, I was home with my son. And I just started so I had some friends that were artists who were already on Instagram who had said, you need to just start putting some stuff out there. And, if you were to scroll back in my Instagram and look, it's literally just little snippets of my sketchbook, and it's, a little watercolor here and there that I was doing on the couch in the evenings. So it's been a real process to firstly start putting things that weren't perfect. I'm also a perfectionist and a recovering people pleaser. So it's been a real process to work through all those things, but been amazing for my own personal growth. But that didn't happen overnight. So it was little bit by little bit. And then I had some people in my life that were saying, why don't you enter some shows? Why don't you try and sell a piece? And I was probably also lucky during COVID that I just started putting stuff on Instagram and people just kept buying it. So literally I put something up and it would sell. Friends and family were my customers, but yeah, it was sort of it really built my confidence. And then I stumbled across the Space Gallery in Geelong, which is now Sequel Gallery. I put a piece in an art show there, and that just because it got accepted into the art show, so it didn't win, it didn't sell, it didn't, but because I was accepted into that art show, it just made me think maybe I'm onto something. So I entered more art shows, and then I entered Aspire Gallery, had their Foot Square, I think it was their Foot Square show, and I won Director's Choice, and which means I became part of their stockroom, which at the time, as I mentioned, I didn't even know what that meant. So Irene had to let me know what that meant, which means I I'm part of their artist representation. So basically they have a stockroom full of my art, and they promote it, they put it out, they put it into shows, and all of that sort of stuff. So I've sold quite a few paintings over the years through them, and I'm still represented by them, and that's been maybe 3-4 years now. So that's been great, and it's just been those little things that have given me the confidence. And now I'm at a point where I don't care if people see half-done paintings. I don't care if someone thinks something's awful or doesn't look good or makes comments. I've grown a sort of thick skin about that. I can put my face on Instagram. Like I said, you might see that there's a lovely brand photo, profile picture. Leah Ladson did those. She's amazing, by the way. Just shout out. And yeah, she was just holding a brand photo day, and I thought, what the hell? So I went and did it, and it's just been all these little decisions that I've made. And I have never known what I'm doing. I'm just doing it. I'm just throwing I don't know, whatever you say. Throwing myself in.
I think is the thing, but I'm not sure. I don't know if that's really what you're doing. You're just sort of pushing forward. Like what I can see, I've written down, I've got an algorithm for you. Okay. You ready? Mathematical equation. Passion plus commitment plus courage plus, we've got an extra one in here, external validation for you with the gallery pieces has got you where you are today. What do you reckon? How's that sound?
Yeah.
True.
Good. Yeah, totally true. And I think what that's done is it's built my self-belief and confidence. So now I don't mind if I look a bit silly online or Instagram, and my face is my face. I can't change it. It's just, it's just things that I had to get over to get where I am. And even, like I said, putting my art out, now I don't mind. It is what it is, and I love doing it. I love sharing it, and I want to do more of it, and I want to continue doing it. And I think one of the things, as I mentioned earlier, is that I've realized is it's a lot about building community, and that's something I really want to continue to do as well.
Yep. We're big believers in community. And I always say that having your own business is like the biggest self-development tool ever, because you're just faced with all different parts of yourself. And like you were talking about, like it's just, you have to challenge yourself, like even though you feel uncomfortable, even though it's not your internal nature as an introvert to like put yourself out there. And like through your corporate job, you've like stretched that muscle of like just doing things that you feel uncomfortable about. But, that's translated into your art career as well. And I think like, putting things out there that aren't like polished or perfect, people are seeking that authentic connection these days. Like, I think that, showing that side of like, the rough edges or even like our wonky start of the podcast or, us stumbling over our words. Like, I think that's the charm, because it just shows that we're real people behind these accounts, behind these businesses. And you can like make progress and achievements, like slowly, even if you're just figuring it out as you go.
Definitely. Yeah. And I'm definitely still figuring it out and still just going along. And, you know, I do have the privilege of having a job that, you know, practically full time. It's 4 days. So that funds a lot of my ambitions. So, you know, that helps as well. So,
there's nothing wrong with that, Vanessa. It's a choice, right? I think it actually has a lot of other perks too, in that your art is never under that awful sense of pressure. You know, you can create art that you feel really aligned with, and you can evolve your style, as you were saying earlier that you are now, and you don't have that pressure. So yeah, don't feel bad about that, Vanessa. I think that's okay. And I think most of our audience will have day jobs as well in the mix.
Yeah, and I think that's really important to note, that, you know, you can just keep going and keep doing it and go off in these different areas and explore things and book a random show with some people, because financially you can afford to do those things, because, you know, the big thing about the art, you can do it as cheaply as you want, but it does get expensive, like doing all the shows, having all the materials, even the travel. You know, I sold a piece in a show the other day, but it's been in several shows. It's been flown to Brisbane and back. You know, all of that, by the time you sell it, you haven't made anything from the painting whatsoever. But yeah, it's the love of doing it. And like I said, I can afford it because I've got a full-time job that can help me do those sorts of things. And, you know, one day I'll just be selling paintings.
You are selling paintings, Vanessa. You've got a whole gallery space currently full of red dots, remember?
Yes.
Right now on this go live date. What day is this going out again, Laura? This is
The 20th. Yeah.
20th of November.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so that day I'm doing a live painting in the space. And then also on the 30th, which is a Saturday night, I've got a paint and sip night happening.
Oh, fun. I
Yes.
love that.
So I need to put links on. By the time this goes out, there will be links on my Instagram. But yes, so that should be.
So that's on the 30th. Okay, we need to talk more about this paint and sip situation. The tickets might already be sold out by the stage that this comes out, but let's get excited. What's the plan for the paint and sip?
Yeah, so it's 7 till 9 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
And so we'll be in the space, so surrounded by the artwork. So if you haven't seen it, you can wait till that evening. But I'm basically going to be doing one of my abstract botanicals. So yeah, it'll be nice and free and easy, and everyone can take home an artwork with a frame. Yeah, it should be lovely.
Beautiful.
Yay, that sounds amazing.
And I know Vanessa's an amazing teacher too, so it's going to be very inspiring. And if you're an absolute beginner, don't worry, she's got your back. So go along to the paint and sip. I know it'll be like a good, fun, free experience. Yeah.
What day of the week is that, Vanessa? 30th of?
It's a Saturday night.
Did we say 30th of December? Am I so confused?
November. Did I say
30th December? No, 30th of November, everyone.
I'm so confused. 30th of November, and it's a Saturday.
Yeah. Oh, and how much have you got ticket price as well?
Yes. Yeah. So I may get this slightly wrong, but I think it's $65 a ticket, and that includes all your materials and a champagne on arrival or a non-alcoholic.
That's a bargain, people.
Oh, I know. That's great.
That's a really good price.
And there's a concession ticket as well at $55. I might have those prices slightly out by a couple of dollars here and there, but
and how do people book? Sorry,
it's through Eventbrite. So you'll be able to get the links through my Instagram. I will have something on my website, or In Bloom Horticulture.
Awesome.
Fab. Super cool. Sounds amazing. Are you going to do that one, Laura? Or maybe you go to the opening night.
Yeah, it's really far away from me, so I have to coordinate my time. And actually, by that stage, I think it's my we're going away for my dad's 70th birthday.
Oh,
So I've got
amazing.
family time around that time. So, but I'm hoping to get to the opening. Yeah.
Fabulous. Well, Vanessa, thank you so much for being here today. Is there anything else you want to sort of throw in there, like as a pearl of wisdom for artists who might be, earlier on in their journey? Maybe they're making imperfect art, and I don't mean that in an awful way, imperfect art at home, feeling nervous to share that. Do you have any sort of tips around that, perhaps?
Yes, I do. I think even if you take a photo of one small part of that imperfect piece, or whether it's in your sketchbook, it doesn't have to be the whole piece, just one part that you really love, and just start posting that. And you'll find before you know it, you're posting the whole painting and you're finishing them, or whatever it is, doesn't have to be painting. Yeah, and before you know it, you'll have your face online chatting about your show.
Doing lives with us. I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Vanessa. Our audience, how can they find out more about you, connect with you, find your links and all of that jazz? Is Instagram the best place to be?
Yeah, so Instagram's the best place. That's Vanessa Maver _art. I've also got my website, which is vanessamaverart.com. Yeah, so they're probably the best places to find me. I have all my links through Instagram, so you can see what I've got at Aspire and things like that as well. So that's all there. But yeah, I'm very active on Instagram. I'm not really anywhere else. Had to keep focused.
I like that. That single-minded focus. It gets you places, I think.
Yes. My brain can't handle more than that.
And that's okay. Hey, Laura, I have a review to share. Should I drop it in now?
Of course. I love how you always remember these, Ros.
I'm trying to get better. I'm a conscious effort over here. All right. So this review is by Rachel Kieran, and she has said, great full content podcast. This is a great podcast for artists. Ros and Laura are genuine in what they share. They are generous in sharing their knowledge, experience, and give good constructive advice. Highly recommend. And so this is by Rachel Kieran Art. I'll spell her account on Instagram if you want to go and find her and give her a follow. Rachel, and the last name is KIERANN Art. So thank you so much, Rachel. And our beautiful listeners today, if you would like to leave us a review and let us shout you out as well, head over to Apple Podcasts, leave us a review that way, 5 stars for good karma, of course, because we would love to give you a shout out too.
Yay.
Thank you so much. And I just wanted to say that, yes, I mirror what Rachel's just said. It's an absolutely amazing podcast, and it's helped me through so many little things. And I'm even going to go back and listen to your Getting Ready for Your Show podcast, because I think I need that this week.
Yay. Oh, thanks, Vanessa. That's very kind.
Thanks so much, Vanessa.
See you all soon.
Bye.
Bye.